I'm sure every parent has experienced catnapping with their baby at some point. It can't be that bad, can it? At least they're sleeping, right? Today, I'm going to be answering your sleep question, is catnapping bad for my baby? And we're going to take a look at what catnapping is. Is bad the right word to use? And what are some ways that we can help to manage or prevent catnapping? So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Taylor, one of the pediatric sleep consultants here at Little Ones and mother to two cheeky little girls. At Little Ones, we've helped over 200,000 families achieve better sleep for their little ones. You can check out our app where we've got our sleep programs, as well as our support village where myself and several of the other sleep consultants are there 24/7 to help answer any of your questions. First things first, let me know in the comments below if you've had any sort of catnapping from your little ones. I've experienced it with both of my girls. I'm no stranger to short naps, let me tell you. Okay. So, first things first, what is catnapping? Catnapping is essentially just one sleep cycle. It's a very brief sleep that they do, and then they'll have a long period of awake time thereafter. Most commonly happens between sort of 8 to 16 weeks of age. That's when we start to see it. Either their melatonin is wearing off, so they're no longer actually wanting to stay asleep because that hormone's out of their system, or they're going through a period of developmental maturation. So a catnap is a sleep that ranges from around 30 to 45 minutes. That's a short catnap. And then what usually happens is your little one is going to have several naps throughout the day. Now, catnapping during the day might be sustainable for some families if your little one is then still sleeping really well overnight. They're sleeping through, or they're having really long chunks of sleep overnight, and so the catnapping during the day doesn't bother you. Personally, it was catnapping in the first place that brought me to Little Ones with my first daughter. She would only ever sleep for 20 to 30 minutes at a time, and I would spend time putting her down to sleep, and it would literally be like drop it and run to try to either do a job, get a drink, sit down, and she'd be up again. And it got to the point where I went, I can't do anything during the day with a baby that's only ever really giving me 20 minutes at a time. So her overnight sleep was perfect, couldn't fault it. She was excellent overnight, but during the day I thought something's got to give, and that's what led me to the Little Ones program. Now, in terms of describing it as bad, we don't really like to use the word bad in the sleep community because sleep is sleep, and bad is the wrong way to say it. Any amount of sleep, if your little one is sleeping, great. Like, that's what we want. We want them to sleep. The word that we would probably use to describe catnapping is unsustainable. So because your little one isn't having a long sleep during the day, then missing out on that restorative sleep. And what can happen is we build up into this big pile of overtiredness, and then eventually it might actually start to bleed into their overnight sleep, kind of taking a turn for the worst. They might also start to become a little bit more difficult to settle for their overnight sleep, or just in general. They might start finding it really hard to fall asleep in general during the day, and you'll probably end up with a really cranky baby. And so, again, personally, with my second child, she's currently 4.5 months, which is a fun age. So my second child right now has some days where she's just like, nah, I'm only gonna sleep for one sleep cycle, and I gotta deal with it, try to help her get back on track. And so when us consultants are giving you advice or making these videos and whatnot, we've lived through these things. Some of us currently are. We get it, but we're here to support you, and we know some tips and tricks to help you get back on track. Right, so how do we manage and or prevent / kind of just get through catnapping? Obviously, first and foremost, check your sleep environment. We want it dark, we want white noise, we want them to be warm, we want it to be a cozy, sleep promoting environment. So check that one off first. Next, we want to make sure that their awake times are appropriate for their age, and that's where we come in. That's where you can check out our app, check out our sleep programs, make sure that you've got the correct awake windows for your little one. That was where I went wrong with my first child, and it fixed it right up. Now this next point is one that I'm gonna stress it because it's something that I wish I had known sooner, and that is wind, 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 and feed. So make sure that your little one is fed. If they're hungry, they're gonna wake up and be like, no, I'm hungry, feed me. But winding your baby is so helpful for them. This is something that my little one right now is struggling with a lot. And the more that you can wind your baby during their awake window, the less likely they're gonna wake from discomfort. So if they've burped maybe 2 or 3 times, see if they'll burp again. And then the final point is if they are around 3 or 4 months of age, this is when we're hitting that developmental maturation where their sleep is maturing to adulthood. And this is where we start guiding them towards self-settling, because they could be waking up after one sleep cycle and then being like, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. I need to go back to sleep. Help me, help me, help me. And you're just sitting there going, oh my gosh. So self-settling is a really good one to help them too. So to summarize, if it works well for you right now and you're okay with it, that's fine. Sometimes doing 4 naps across the day is just something that you got to do to get through the day. But if you're finding that they're becoming more difficult to settle to sleep, or if you're finding that their overnight sleep is starting to get impacted, that's when you might start looking at some of these tips that I've offered today, and we can maybe give catnapping the boot. Check out the links in the description below and make sure you follow us on our socials. Look after yourselves, and I'll chat to you again soon.